All right. So we're going to transition here from one family who joined us a uh, little bit into the year, but I would say I think maybe around halfway to the year to a basically a family who's been with us for I think over almost 18 months at this point. And little bit different scenario as well. So I'll welcome to the stage both Miss Lisa and Miss Taylor. Let me pull on here. There's Taylor and there's Miss Lisa. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm really enjoying my streaming software right now because I can add people up. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Lisa, I think we'll start with you, just kind of because I think you're approaching probably one of the longest running clients we've had, if not the longest running client. But we probably met, I think, in either February or March of 2023. Just kind of walk us through, your background, Taylor's background, and what prompted you to reach out originally.
Well, I have homeschooled her for ever since fifth grade, and we got to a place where just wanted to do the next level as we move into college prep. And so I started looking into AP options and found you because of the AP/athletics. Taylor has pursued athletics for a number of years. She can speak to that. And so we were traveling quite a bit, and it just seemed like this was the next fit. So I reached out to you. We set up a meeting, and we've never looked back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, originally you were probably the ideal client that we were pursuing as athletes in AP history, trying to help busy travel athletes ace their AP exams. We've obviously expanded beyond that. So we definitely got the right clientele. I know we had multiple conversations before you ended up going forward with us. What ultimately made the decision and why you, I guess, invested with us for this long of a time?
For me, it was that we spoke the same language, but also that I left every conversation feeling heard and seen, not just in what we were looking for, but you really were able to outline our goals. The other thing that stood out is how you approached Taylor. You didn't speak about her with me. You very clearly addressed her and let her have her space as well. And after talking with you several times, it was a fit. It was clear it was a fit. And I was very confident that the whole program was going to meet the needs that we were looking for.
Appreciate that. And so we started prior to us really developing the comprehensive mentorship that became the masterclass, because we started one-on-one tutoring back when we were just helping with test prep and one-on-one prep. And you could work with us through the summer. And Taylor was in a unique situation because we kind of customized the plan the whole way. We were doubling up on AP histories, world, and US. So Taylor, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So as you're one of the most self-sufficient students I know, probably. Very smart, very intelligent. And you're a homeschool student, but you're already taking classes online. Why did you feel like you needed this?
It became a necessity in order to pursue higher education and to take a next step into, achieving all that I want to achieve. And I thought that beyond that, I also wanted to challenge myself a little bit more and give myself a deeper knowledge of these things. And just, even if I wasn't going to take the test, still being in the class kind of meant something to me, because I was getting the best I could get. And I was getting as much knowledge as I could get.
Love it. Love it. So, yeah, I mean, I know we had one-on-one sessions. Eventually the master class, the group classes opened up, and you're one of those high-performing students who probably never missed a class, right? And especially even, I know university on the road, right? Carpool university.
Yeah.
So Just talk a little bit about your experience with why did you show up so much for the class and what value did you get out of it?
With being mostly online with all of my school, having somebody to interact with and to ask questions to, and to just have that like face to face, even though it's still on a screen, but that face to face interaction kind of meant something to me. And just being able to like ask questions and get answers and have conversations beyond just being like told like this is the information and then answer the question about the information. So that was a perk that I don't get a lot of. So when I do,
Right.
really fun to be in.
Right. So you actually like practicing the skill set needed for the exams.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, Lisa, the feedback you got from Taylor, because I know the program evolved while you've been in it. Just your experiences just from Taylor's reflecting on the masterclass format. What can you share anything for other parents out there that might be curious to like, how is my student going to do this? Because they're very busy, right? A lot of stuff going on, but like in terms of your priorities and what maybe some busy parents might need to hear as well.
Well, first, let me say it's the best decision that I have made related to Taylor's school in the entirety from the time we started homeschooling to now. And that's why we're absolutely staying with it. And I think doing 4 more classes. The level of comprehensive information plus how it's approached is very on target. So the classes address learning in one way, her conversations with you. And by the way, everybody is always very accessible, and I appreciate that. It covers every type of learning, and I think that's fit her style. And the one thing that I saw going through, because I'd be driving with some of these classes listening in, one of the things I saw was just not only teaching content, but teaching how to take the test. And then what struck me most is the ability to teach kids how to think and think about what they're doing, not just rote spitting out information. So did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, no, that was great. So not just memorization, which obviously a lot of, yeah. So we actually applying what we're learning. Yeah, Taylor, you have very high aspirations. I know that, right? I know, and we're looking at some top universities. We're looking at some top programs. I think you're gonna be a gymnastic astronaut, maybe. Right? We have our eyes on NASA. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the personalization, I know we did test prep together, but you loved having Miss Hannah. You were able to catch up classes with Miss Noel. Did you feel like it got your personal needs met, and if so, how?
Yeah. So Miss Hannah and Miss Noel were both very organized, and they, Miss Hannah specifically answered any questions I had, was very good at explaining things. But also Miss Crystal, who did the AP Lit, she was just kind of always there if I needed something. Like she not only was very organized and had something like every week, a good lesson plus a good assignment to do to help me comprehend, but she was just always there to like answer questions or, help with anything I needed help with, which was very nice.
Love it. So we decided to take the test this year, right? So it was almost an 12 to 18 month lead up, right? And you've been homeschooled since 5th grade?
Yes.
So you're stepping into a high school the first time, really, right?
Yes.
And just talk to a little bit about like what that, so, because it's funny because I know how majority of our kids that are high school kids that aren't homeschool kids go in feeling a little bit different than their peers. What was that experience like sitting down for your first AP exam as a high school student since 5th grade?
It was interesting for sure, because I was also taking the test with a school that I didn't know anybody from, because from church and activities, I do know a lot of people from some of the schools closer to me, but I knew nobody going into this. And it was a little tricky getting enrolled in order to take the test, which was an
Yes.
interesting experience.
Yes.
But I felt very welcomed by the school I took it with. So it was very easy to go in and take it because the people who were there giving the test, they're very nice people. So overall, it was a really good experience. Very good.
So the actual test, how did you feel about all three of them? Because we actually helped prep for you for 3 exams.
Yeah, I like how I did.
Well, I know when the scores aren't going to come out for a couple of months, but just your confidence, how you felt about it.
So confidence going into them, I was like, I think I have a good idea. And when I was actually sitting down and looking at the questions, you almost get a boost of like, no, I know I can do this. When you're reading the questions and you realize, I know the answer to this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very reassuring, and it actually gives you a boost for the next questions. And the more you get into it, even if you don't know the answer to something, it's a little bit easier to just, manage or try to figure it out. So I think there's a lot of like anxiety around the test, but then when you're actually sitting down, I found it very easy to focus, and they were a lot easier than I thought they would be. But they were challenging, but focusing was easy.
Gotcha. Did you feel like was there anything you weren't prepared for to handle, or you felt pretty well prepared?
I felt very well prepared. I feel like content you can always know more.
Yeah.
But as far as taking the test itself, I feel like I knew all that I could know.
Yeah. And the skill set takes over, right? Because we're never going to be able to memorize everything in history or learn everything in history. So awesome. So, yeah, I mean, Lisa, you guys are going to continue with us as we move on to some AP Sciences and we expand our program. You're probably one of the ideal clients of why we are doing that in the Natural Ascension. But, I mean, just any other final thoughts and why continue with us, even though we're still haven't changed the name yet, Athletes in AP History, but just what you get out of the program, I guess, in terms of continuing.
I've seen Taylor learn, and there's the learning how to think and the critical thinking piece that's so important. And I'll just speak to something about the test that I observed. I felt like she was very well prepared, and you offered a lot of meetings. And between all 3 tests that she took, she was seeing somebody with your organization. It almost felt like daily. But my observation watching her walk into the school and come out, she appeared more confident. She appeared less stressed. And then my experience with talking to other parents, what Taylor learned from you, in my opinion, where we are, far surpassed what I have other parents, and even in my work, what I hear people talking about their kids having learned. And that ability to know how to take the test was instrumental. And so that's one of the reasons, I think. I think I've seen Taylor grow academically in our time with you. And she does have very specific high goals. And I feel like this program is going to be instrumental in her achieving them.
Well, thank you very much.
Because I like you. I'm saying that because that is really, we built our whole education plan at this point around you.
Yeah, that's very humbling and a lot of gratitude towards that. So thank you both for being a part of it and one of the cornerstone families in our program. So I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much for your time, and we're going to wish you nothing but continued success. We're not saying goodbye because obviously we're going to see you next week as we continue the evolution of this program and get you up to speed with other subjects as well. So
absolutely. Hey, can I say one more thing?
Sure, of course.
I have never felt like we were your business. I've always felt like you've been actively involved and engaged with us. And I remember on the road when we were at Taylor, where was it? Wasn't regionals. It was Irving, Texas.
Yeah, I guess.
One of the competitions. And there was a non-academic issue that came up. And I called you, and you made the time to talk through a perception. So I want to put that out there for anybody who's considering your program. It's never felt transactional. It's always felt like it's an engagement and an investment on your part as well. So
I appreciate that.
Really needed to say that.
And from the student perspective, I think your program is so organized. Like just being able to watch Digital Joe and meet with you in person was very helpful. And like the books that you give, it was just all very organized and systematic. But at the same time, like you help a lot, and you know what you're talking about. Like you know your content, but you also know how to take the test, and you're just a good person. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Well, I guess I have to own you. I have to owe you some more Hattie B's chicken at one point. So I appreciate that very much. So thank you, Taylor, Lisa, for your time, and again, wishing you continued success, and can't wait to see your scores.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.